All right, welcome to Language Arts, everybody. So you should have listened to the story Little Red and the Very Hungry Lion. You might know this story already, and if you do, that's great. If this is the first time that you've heard this story, also great. I hope that you enjoyed it. Give me a thumbs up, thumbs down, or thumbs in the middle. What did you think about that story? Did you like it? Did you just kind of like it? Or did you not really like it? Okay. Anything is fine. Whatever you think. That's all your opinion. So this story is called a folk tale. Can you say that? Say folk tale. A folk tale is a story that is passed down from generation to generation. It says a long, long time ago, it started by word of mouth. That means when these stories started, they were not written down in books. People just memorized the stories in their mind, and then they told them to their children. And their children told them to their children. And the stories got passed down, not by reading them, but just by their mouths, by them telling the story, right? The story was in their head, and they just remembered it. It says the story teaches a lesson. Ooh, we learned about a lesson last week, right? Lesson, like a big life lesson. So this picture down here is talking about the story of the tortoise and the hare. You might have heard that one in kindergarten. I remember teaching that one in kindergarten. So if your teacher taught that one to you last year, or even if you just know it, you might know this story. This is an example of a folk tale, the tortoise and the hare. They both have a race. And the turtle is slower, right? Or the tortoise is slower than the rabbit. But the tortoise wins. Does anybody know how the tortoise wins the race against the rabbit? Pause me while you think about that. How does the tortoise win? Well, if you're familiar with the story, you might know that tortoise wins because he doesn't give up and he just keeps on going. But the hare here, he gets distracted and he takes a nap. And he does all sorts of things that make him stop the race. He goes, oh, I'm so far ahead. There's no way that I'm going to lose. So he says, I have time to do all these other things. I have time to take a nap. So he goes and he sleeps. And in the meantime, this tortoise who doesn't give up and he just keeps going at his own pace, he passes the hare and ends up winning while the hare is napping. So there's a lesson there in that story, and the lesson is slow and steady wins the race, right? As long as you keep going, you're gonna finish. All right. So this is the page that we're actually going to work on today because there are lots of parts to a folktale, and we're going to talk about some of those parts right now. There are, what, baby? Sorry, guys, 1 second. What do you need? You can color this now. Do you want to color it? Okay, here's your crayons. You can't color it with marker, okay? Okay, where's the top for this marker? Can you grab it? Okay. Thanks for being patient. Sorry. Okay. So here's the different parts that have to do with a folktale. There's characters, right? There's characters in lots of story, but folktales also always have characters. What are characters? Can you pause me while you think about what a character is? So the character, we've talked about this before. It's been a while, but I'm hoping that you just remember by now. A character is like the people or the animals in the story, right? They usually talk. Sometimes a character could even be a thing. Not very often, but sometimes. So there's characters. There's also a setting. Pause me while you think about what a setting is. Okay, so a setting is where the story takes place, where it happens, right? Okay. This is good versus evil. So this is saying that in a folk tale, there is always a good guy and a bad guy. There's a good character and there's a bad character that's trying to stop them, right? Good versus evil. I bet you can think of lots of books and movies that have good versus evil in them. Pause me while you try and think of a movie or book or two that has good versus evil. There are so many books, right? There's the Three Little Pigs. There's the Tortoise and the Hare could be good versus evil if you think of the rabbit as evil. There's also so many like Disney movies, the princess movies. I'm thinking of like Rapunzel with, Rapunzel is good and the evil mother that stole her away is bad. Or the Marvel movies. I'm not very familiar with them, but I know that they have good versus evil as well. Okay. So we also have problem and solution. Everybody say problem. So what's the problem in a story? If you come upon a problem in a story, is that a good thing? No, a story is what's went wrong, right? Something went wrong. That's the problem. Whatever went wrong. And the solution is how you solve the problem. How do the characters fix the problem? That's the solution. Okay, so there's all of these little things on the side here. And what we're going to do, I'm going to zoom out a tiny bit. We're going to cut these out and we are going to glue them in to the correct spot. And these are all talking about Little Red. So we're going to find the characters, the setting, the good versus evil people, the problem, and the solution, and then we can draw next to it. So what I would do if I were you is I would just cut off this whole side. Just go ahead and take your scissors all the way up the page. Okay. You can rip this page out if you want. I'm just going to leave it like it is, but you're welcome to rip it out. And I'm going to cut out these squares here. Okay, you're probably not done cutting, so pause me until you're done. When you are done, you can listen to the next part. Okay, so if you're still listening, that means that you're done cutting and you're ready to fill in the missing pieces with me. So the first one is characters. Let's look through and figure out which one says the characters on it. So this one says Little Red and Hungry Lion. Well, those are characters in the story, right? Let's keep reading and make sure there's not another one with characters. This one says the lion wants to eat Little Red and her auntie. Hey, Buck, stop. Well, this one talks about characters, but it doesn't just list the characters, so I don't think that's it. This one says tricking the lion into getting frustrated and then feeding him donuts. That's not it. That's not about characters. Now, this one is a list. So Little Red, Daddy, Lion, and Auntie Rose. Is that it? Maybe. Those are a bunch of characters, right? Even more than just the characters that are over here. Let's read this last one. It says cabin and the path in the jungle. Is that it? No, that's not the characters. So I have two with characters. Which one do you think it is? The one that just says Little Red or Hungry Lion? Or the one that says Little Red, Daddy, Lion, and Auntie Rose? Yeah, I think it's this one with more characters, right? There's another one that kind of talks about characters too, so we'll get to this one in a minute. All right, let's glue this one underneath characters. And then I want you to pause me because what you're going to do is you're going to draw a little picture of Little Red, Daddy, Lion, and Auntie Rose. Go ahead and draw that. All right. If you're listening to my voice, you already drew the characters. Let's see. I will draw. I guess I should have done this before I had you pause me. Sorry. I'll do that from now on. I'll just draw a super quick picture. So here's Little Red with her pigtails. Here's the lion. Drawing super fast here. Here's Daddy. And Auntie Rose. Okay, there we go. I got my characters. Next, setting. What is the setting again? Setting is the place where the story takes place. So we have Little Red and Hungry Lion. Does that sound like a place? Nope. The lion wants to eat Little Red and her auntie. Nope, not a place. Tricking the lion into getting frustrated and then feeding him donuts. Nope, still not a place. And this last one. Cabin and the path in the jungle. Ah, that sounds like a place. A cabin and a path in the jungle. That's where the story happened. Go ahead and glue that down underneath the setting. And you'll draw the cabin as best as you can. There's my cabin, and I'll draw a path going back into the woods. You're welcome to take as much time as you need on this. I'm going pretty quickly so that you're not waiting for me to finish drawing. So if you're not done, go ahead and pause me and finish up your drawing, and then we'll come to the next part. So next is good versus evil. Good versus evil is talking about people, right? The good person or character. So I guess it could be an animal or a thing if the thing is the character. The good character versus the evil character. So which one of these says the good character and the evil character? Little Red and the Hungry Lion, right? That is the good character. Which one is the good character? Little Red or the lion? Little Red, right? And then the Hungry Lion is the evil character. Good. So over here, you'll just draw a picture of Little Red. And the lion. Maybe I'll draw him looking mean. All right, Little Red and my Hungry Lion. Pause me if you're not done drawing, of course, then we'll go to the next part when you're ready. Next is the problem. So which one of these is the problem? Remember, the problem is what goes wrong, and the solution is how the problem is fixed. So listen to both of these and tell me which one is the problem. Is the problem the lion wants to eat Little Red and her auntie? Or is the problem tricking the lion into getting frustrated and then feeding him donuts? The problem is that the lion wants to eat Little Red and her auntie, right? So we're going to put that one under the problem. And then how they solve the problem is that they trick the lion, right? That's how they solve the problem. So now we're going to go ahead and draw both of these. So the problem, the lion wants to eat the Little Red and her auntie. So maybe I'll draw the lion here. And maybe he's saying, I'll eat you up. Maybe that's what the lion says. And then here's Little Red. Actually, she's probably not smiling. She's probably scared, huh? Little Red and her auntie. And they're saying, ah. There we go. So there's the problem. The lion wants to eat Little Red and the auntie. In the solution, how they solve the problem, tricking the lion into getting frustrated and then feeding him donuts instead. So I'll draw them. I'll draw the lion again with a donut in his hands. There he is, going to eat the donut. So he's not so hungry anymore. He's got a donut. Okay, that's the whole lesson for today. We've learned all of the parts of a folk tale. Think to yourself one more time, what is a folk tale? A folktale, remember, is a story. I'm going to pull this poster for you. 1 second, Lily. I'm going to pull this 1 second. Lily has been coloring on my poster, so it's nice and beautiful now. But a folktale is a story that's passed down. And remember, when the story first started, just a second, Lil. When the story first started, it was not written down on paper or in books. It was just told from person to person with their words, right? They were not reading them. It was just in their brain. And a folktale teaches a lesson. All right. Last thing I need to do before you go is talk to you about some vocabulary. So I'm going to go to the back of this packet. The first word I want to talk to you about is the word naughty. I bet you all already know what this word means, naughty. Do you know what that word means, Lily? What's naughty? What's naughty mean?
I don't know.
You don't know what it means to be naughty?
Yeah.
Have you ever been naughty?
Yeah, I love Bucky.
With Bucky, you've been naughty. Naughty, it says badly behaved, not obeying, right? You're not listening. You're not doing what the person told you to do. You're behaving badly. So look, who do you think has been naughty in this picture here? Probably the little boy, right? He looks pretty grumpy and angry. He's sitting on the floor. Well, maybe mom and dad, or maybe brother and dad, I'm not sure who these two are telling him, you gotta be good, you're not listening. Have you heard that before, Lil? Yeah. So the question says, write about a time that you have been naughty. You don't need to write about it, but you do need to think about it, okay? So tell me about a time. I want you to pause me and say out loud about a time that you've been naughty. Okay, pause me while you think about that. All right, last word that we are going to talk about is the word creep. Can you say creep? To creep is to move while not trying to be seen or heard. To move slowly. I know that I creep around the house in the morning if nobody else is awake. I try to make sure I'm very quiet. And I try not to be seen or heard, right? I move more slowly than normal, and I'm just extra quiet. So I could say that I creep around the house in the morning before people wake up. Have you ever had to creep? Bucky, hey, shh, no. Have you ever tried to creep somewhere before? Have you had to be quiet and not seen or heard? Tell me about that. When did you have to creep? Okay, good. So the question they're asking says, what all did Little Red see as she was creeping to her aunt's house? Okay, so think about that for a second. Pause me while you think, what did Little Red see as she was creeping to her aunt's house? All right, you guys did excellent today. Thank you for listening to my recording. I've got another one for you for math, and then, I haven't quite decided yet if I think I'm gonna try and record my end of the day read aloud as well, okay? So for sure math, and I'm thinking I will record the read aloud as long as I have time to do that today. If not, I might try and go live, but Lily, I'm talking. All right, so go ahead and take a break, go eat lunch, come do math when you're done, and I will talk to you later. Bye.
Hey,